Oh no, it's almost Halloween. I haven't figured out what I'm going to be yet. Oh gosh, oh goodness, oh golly. Hello friendos, it's Bella from the Bookish Badger, and today I'm going to help you with that issue, for I have figured out 15 last-minute bookish costumes that are easy as that to put together. Trust me, it's easier than you would imagine, and the trick is using clothes that you would already have for costumes that are simple enough to use normal clothes in. Let me show you just how easy this is going to be. The first costume that I'm going to suggest, I'm actually already in, and I didn't even try to be. That's because right now, I'm dressed as a muggle. As long as on Halloween you tell people you're dressed as a muggle, boom, you are in a costume. Congratulations. Okay, that one was as easy as possible. Let's progressively put a little more effort into it, but not too much effort that it's not possible to make it last minute. Here we go. If you want to put in slightly more effort than being a muggle, but emphasis on slightly, then I would go with being a Moxie girl from the book Moxie. The first thing that they do in the book to signify that they are a Moxie girl is drawing hearts and stars on their hands, and that's all you have to do for this costume. Just, you've got it right here. I would recommend not going with a Sharpie or permanent marker or anything like that. I personally used washable water-based face paint. I'm sure you could use like a washable children's marker or eyeliner or something like that, and that would work just as well. All the costumes from here on out you will have to probably change your clothes for, but they are still super easy and breezy. The next thing I'm going to suggest is from Percy Jackson, and that is you could be a Camp Half-Blood camper. The most recognizable part of this costume is going to be the t-shirt. Now the t-shirt is supposed to be bright orange and say Camp Half-Blood on it. That's how it is in the books. It is super easy to DIY though, which is the good thing. You can just get a plain orange t-shirt from any crafting store, or I mean if they have it elsewhere that's cool too, and a tube of, I used black puff paint, but if you have fabric markers, it's super flexible, and you can even have fun with the design. It doesn't have to be the signature Pegasus that is used as the Camp Half-Blood symbol. I personally put my camp cabin house on my shirt, so you can do whatever. If you want to get extra with it, the campers at Camp Half-Blood have these beaded necklaces that each have like a symbol on each bead of the biggest event that happened that year. If you have any beaded looking necklace, I'm sure you could use that. I bet you could DIY them. If you're interested, my good friend Sophie has an Etsy where she makes them. That is personally where I got mine, and I got to choose out the beads, so I will link that in the description box if you are at all interested. Other than that, Camp Half-Blood is mainly a summer camp, so shorts, ponytails, sneakers, just general summery look. Or if it's cold where you are, you know, Camp Half-Blood is technically open year-round, so that's totally fine too. And another cool variation, if you've got blonde hair or blonde wig, then you're Annabeth. If you've got black hair or black wig, then you're Percy, or gender-bent Percy if you want. Like, it's all totally cool. Here is my personal rendition of the Camp Half-Blood camper. Let's move on to a different book. Let's go to the Hunger Games universe. Now in the Hunger Games, for me, the easiest costume is always 100% going to be Katniss Everdeen. Reason being, she doesn't have a super specific costume. Clothes-wise, you just kind of dress plain, and then maybe if you've got like a leather jacket or something, a brown leather jacket, then you're basically good to go outfit-wise. Really, the two most iconic things are going to be, one, a bow and arrow. If you've got a prop one, great. If you've got a real one, be very careful, don't hurt anybody, and don't say you got that idea from me. Second of all is going to be the braid. The braid would be easy for me because I've got long hair. It's going to be easy enough for anybody with long hair, but if you have short hair, either do your best or wig might be the best option. For the braid, it's a little funky to do, especially if you're trying to do it on yourself, so I will leave my favorite tutorial of how to do a Katniss braid in the description box below. Here is a picture of my rendition of Katniss. Now let's move over to a book that is going to have quite a few more costume options. Let's go on over to Divergent. The good thing about Divergent is that you can be any miscellaneous faction member that you want to. For instance, let's start off with a miscellaneous member of the Abnegation faction. Really, the main thing of this is just basic loose-fitting clothing. If you have gray, that works. I personally didn't even have any loose-fitting gray pants, so I went with navy blue. As long as it's a plain, dull, solid color, you're pretty much good. Even the sweatshirt I had stuff on the outside, so just turned it inside out and you're good to go. Maybe put your hair in some sort of plain bun ponytail hairstyle. It's pretty open to interpretation. That's the good thing about the factions, is that you have a lot of freedom within them. Here's the example of my rendition of a miscellaneous Abnegation faction member. Next, you could do a miscellaneous Amity faction member. By the way, all the ones that I've mentioned so far, zero makeup necessary. These are all like low facial maintenance. So for Amity, basically they wear a lot of red and yellow and they're kind of the hippie-ish faction. So if you have any red clothes and or yellow clothes and or hippie-ish looking clothes, just put it all together and say you're part of Amity. This here is my rendition of a miscellaneous Amity faction member. Next, you could go for a miscellaneous Erudite faction member. Their thing is blue, pretty much as much blue as you can put together in one outfit, the better. And again, all you gotta do is say you're Erudite and that makes it the costume. Here is the Erudite costume I threw together. If Candor is the faction you prefer, super easy to be a miscellaneous Candor faction member. Just all black and white completely. It symbolizes the fact that honesty and truthfulness is their main thing and that they see everything in black and white, so as much of it as you can do, the better. This here is how I interpreted the Candor faction member costume. The last faction in the Divergent books, as long as you don't count Divergent itself as a faction, is Dauntless. They are basically the tough, brave faction, all black and dark, all tight-fitting, all piercings and dark makeup, and all that jazz. Here was my take on a Dauntless faction member. Now, the Dauntless faction is big into tattoos, and that makes it very easy to go from miscellaneous Dauntless faction member to Triss, the main character in the book, because Triss has an iconic, like, flying bird tattoo on her collarbone, so you could just draw that on and instantly you're Triss. Again, as with the Moxie Hearts and Stars, it would probably be best to use either face paint, washable marker, or eyeliner. You could probably find a more accurate rendition to work off of on the internet, but here's what I did for mine. Now this one's a little bit interesting, because I've yet to read any of the books in this series, but from what I can gather, if you would like to be a miscellaneous shadow hunter from the Mortal Instruments series, it is not that far off from a miscellaneous Dauntless faction member. It's the same deal with black and tight-fitting and easy to fight in and leather, tough looking, cool and all that, except instead of tattoos, they have these like runes on their body, I guess. I personally just looked up a couple on the internet and did my best to copy them on my arms, so it seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, that's all you gotta do for that. Here are the slight changes I made for the Shadowhunter costume. Now let's move on over to the last book we're going to be looking at for costumes, my fave, my baby, Harry Potter. First off, you could try being a miscellaneous Hufflepuff student. Aren't all Hufflepuff students miscellaneous Hufflepuff students? For this, just as much of the house colors as you can get into your outfit. For Hufflepuff, those are black and yellow. Just super open to interpretation and to rendition. It all pretty much works as long as it's black and yellow, you're good. I have many Hufflepuffy looking outfits that I wear often. Forget Halloween, just we're talking daily basis here, but this is one of the renditions. Or maybe you would like to be a Ravenclaw student. Again, we're talking basically just house colors here, blue and silver, or if you would like to be book accurate, blue and bronze. Another good thing for all these Hogwarts house costumes is if you can really get the feel of the house into your outfit. Not necessary, but if it's possible, cool. Hufflepuff I think of as sort of cutesy, Ravenclaw sort of regal, Slytherin as either tough or sleek, and Gryffindor as like cool looking. With that, here is my rendition of a Ravenclaw student. Maybe you want to dress up as a Slytherin student. Again, house colors, green and silver are Slytherins. I personally don't even have that many green and silver clothes, but I was still able to throw together something. Another thing that helps out with the Hogwarts houses, if you don't have a large amount of clothes in any of the colors that you're looking for, makeup looks with the house colors can help out a ton. This especially helped for me with Slytherin. This is what I tried out for the Slytherin costume. The last costume of this video is, as I'm sure you figured out by now, a miscellaneous Gryffindor student. Their house colors are red and gold, so as much of that as you can fit in, go for it. I found also that maybe mussing up your hair and making it frizzy and bigger than usual is a good idea too, because it sort of resembles a lion's mane, and of course the Gryffindor house mascot is a lion. Lastly, here was my rendition of that costume. Alright, that is it for this video. I hope that if any of you out there are in this position that this video was able to help some. I would love to know what you guys are thinking of being for Halloween, so please leave a comment down below so that we can chat about it. If you enjoyed this video, do not hesitate to give it a thumbs up. Do not hesitate to subscribe for more content coming soon, and I will see you in the next video. Bookish Badger, signing off.